The Social Media Recap Show, brought to you by the geeks at Moblogging. Social Media Recap is a weekly look back at the changes in social media platforms, apps, and marketing. Recap.
Thanks again for tuning in to another edition of the Social Media Recap Show, brought to you by Moblogging. That's where I happen to work. I'm Jodi Jahrling, Director of Operations and host of today's podcast. Never mind those sirens that are going off. You might notice it's a little different office space. I'm actually transmitting from Metteer, Colorado today. So my special guest, Metteer, was able to join me today. And you are in local government here.
I am.
Not like a voted in office type government.
I was appointed.
Appointed?
Yes.
By somebody who was elected?
No, by someone else who was appointed.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. But you, working for a small town, economic development.
Yep. Special events.
Special events to include a farmer's market every season.
100 vendor a week outdoor market. Yep.
The Metteer Market.
.org. Yep. Come by and visit us Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And you have clerk duties too.
I'm the deputy clerk, so I handle all the business licenses in town, a little bit of everything.
So basically, Michelle and her own entity here is like a small business.
Yes.
Where you are wearing many, many hats.
Many.
So you decided to outsource your social media.
I sure did, and thank heavens. Yes, it's been a.
How did you arrive at that decision, though?
Well, I really knew that it was to the point where Metteer as a community had grown, that we really needed more outlets to get information to our residents and the folks that do business within the town. And in order to do that, we really needed to outsource.
And some things, Moblogging happens to be the company that the town outsourced to.
Yep.
And some things we do to help get the information out. And it isn't always just about events that are happening around town.
Absolutely
You use email marketing.
Absolutely.
To talk about town council meetings.
Everything from the opening of the rec center to new positions on the economic development subcommittee coming up to new bathrooms that are going in downtown. This is a great way to keep people informed.
And that's why we have Michelle on the show today. She's also here as part of our pilot program for a social media quiz for charity challenge. So we'll be doing that towards the end of the show, but I just wanted to find out who you're going to be playing for today.
So I'm playing for the Education Foundation of Eagle County.
Which is what?
A great program that's all about teaching kids music, how to play instruments. It's a wonderful program. It's Jake Wolf is heading up a local concert that they're going to be doing here in Metteer tomorrow night, Little Beach Park, 6 o'clock. All funds go toward the Education Foundation for Eagle County. It's so excited, and my daughter learned how to play the ukulele.
Aww.
She took the camp this summer. It was so much darn fun, and she's now a ukulele gal.
So we encourage you to stay tuned in through the entire podcast so that you could test your knowledge against our special guest today.
I anticipate I'll need some help.
Yeah. But first and foremost, we want to inform you, like we do every week, about changes in social media platforms, apps, and marketing. So right out of the gate, we're going to hit up some social media platform updates. Facebook, I don't think there's ever going to be a week that we don't have a Facebook type of update. Even for somebody who doesn't primarily use it because you've outsourced it, you still see all the crazy changes that are happening.
All the time.
So in this past week, they changed Facebook ads as far as how you see them in the news feed.
Yes.
The major change, and I'm trying to figure out how best to explain this, is so ads are run, and sometimes people will run ads that are targeted to people who already like their page. And there's an algorithm for how Facebook disseminates the amount of advertising that goes out into the feed. So they determine, and I'm just using an erroneous number, let's say they've decided 100 ads are going to be run in an individual's feed a day. So out of those 100, they had a formula for how many of those ads could be targeted to people who already like the page type ads, and then types of ads that can be targeted to somebody else who doesn't like the page, like friends and family of somebody who likes the page.
Yep.
So with this algorithm, we love that word algorithm when it comes to Facebook. They have now increased from 1 to 2 the number of times an ad that's run that's targeted to individuals other than people who like your page for them to appear an extra time. No misconceptions though. There aren't going to be more ads in the news feed. This particular type of ad will replace one of the existing targeted ads to people who already like your page.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear about that. Yes, because when I read that, I thought, oh, I'm going to get so many more ads now.
That is the assumption. No, they're just replacing. They're letting these particular ads replace one of the spots that this other ad used to run.
And the 1 to 2, that's for those who don't necessarily like the page. But for those who have already liked your page, didn't it go up from 2 to 4?
I didn't read that.
I think that it might have.
Oh, I'm so glad you read.
I did. And so that, if you've already liked the page, that actually increased as well. Another algorithm, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so you really have to think about who that target market is. So what are your strategies on social media? Are you trying to increase the number of people who are exposed to your company, or do you have the most ideal target market already liking your page and you're just trying to make sure that they see your content? So you kind of have to decide based on what kind of ad you're running. Are you trying to get more people to see you, or are you trying to really target the people that already see you?
And I have to say, in our world and in small business and in government, we are finding ourselves having to do a little bit of both. So we're always needing to increase the number of people that are seeing us so that they can learn about the town, what we have to offer. And then we're also certainly trying to strengthen and grow that community that we already have online.
That's really good interjection there.
Thank you.
Good job. On to the next. Twitter, in the text of the notes that are available on moblogging.com/blog, another sign that Twitter as a company is doing more of what it doing more to increase the engagement on its platform. They haven't officially ruled it out, but we've been noticing that they've been testing faves. Favorites, whenever you favorite, it's kind of like a like on Facebook. They're starting to show those in the Twitter feeds. And then there's been some background chatter for who they consider like suggested favorites. So say, even though I don't follow Coca-Cola on Twitter, I could start seeing Coca-Cola stuff in my feed because they're developing this algorithm that says, oh, this person's popular. Of course everybody wants to see what they're talking about.
Yes.
Even when they haven't paid for a promoted tweet. So there's some things that are rolling out that can be very similar to Facebook. And so far, I have some beef with it because Twitter so far has been the one platform that I've only had to see what I've chosen to see. So if I've chose to search on a hashtag to get more tweets than what comes in through my feed, I chose that.
Now, do you at least appreciate that when you see things, it'll say promoted at the bottom and the such?
Yeah, that doesn't bother me. I mean, any business has to make money. So where's the sirens again?
There is. We're a busy town today.
Do you have a red phone that sometimes they call you?
I don't. I have a white iPhone.
Well, hopefully in the next 20 minutes or so that you won't get any telephone calls.
But I've noticed that all the promoted ones.
Those don't bother
I scroll
me.
over those. I respect that they tell me that they're promoted, and if they have a topic or content that I appreciate or am in need of it knowing, then I will stop.
The favorites bug me because I felt like in the past, tweeting and then marking something as a favorite was just your personal way of acknowledging that person's tweet without wanting to share it with everybody else. Whereas now, if they start showing favorites in the feed just like they would at mentions, it's really going to get clogged.
So what I wanted to get your opinion on this from a professional standpoint. What's your view on the promotions and the such with Twitter, which has such a short shelf life compared to Facebook?
Well, and that's how you increase the shelf life, by promoting. So Twitter allows you to either promote the tweet, so you can even make one up. It doesn't have to be one you already tweeted. And then it also gives you an opportunity to be a recommended person to follow.
All right.
So it goes back to whoever your target market is.
I just wonder, do you get more bang for your buck doing this through Facebook or doing it through Twitter?
Facebook is still bang for your buck. You're going to get more promoting through Facebook, only because the number of users, on top of the number of users, the number of engaged users. There is a smaller shelf life to anything that's tweeted. You got 3 minutes max, maybe, and then if you're liked, maybe that increases by a couple of minutes. Paid advertising on Twitter, though, if you were to compare the cost to get likes on Facebook versus the cost to get followers on Twitter, right now, Twitter is actually giving you a better cost per follower.
All right.
It all depends on markets. If you're in Los Angeles, that cost is going to be much higher than if you're in Minturn, Colorado.
And would you say because those in Los Angeles are probably more engaged in the social mainstream?
That makes a difference.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
I think it makes sense.
And it comes down to competition, too. That stuff is based on bids. So, yeah, it drives the cost up if you have more similar businesses that are willing to pay more.
Yeah, makes sense.
Instagram.
Wow, great stuff on Instagram.
They are making some moves.
They really are.
And once again, I link back to the interesting articles on our blog. Instagram is rolling out more robust advertising tools. So I think it was last March or April, they started rolling out the possibility for you to have sponsored Instagram posts. And if you're a pretty casual user, you're still able to see some of those. And then you can opt out and say, I don't want to see this kind of content. So maybe it's a sponsor for pantyhose and you're a dude and just doesn't do anything. You're not the target market for those pantyhose necessarily.
A little judging.
Instagram is making a push to make sure that totally was, he called me out, is making a push to make sure that when a company or brand decides that they want to advertise through those Instagram channels, they are going to actually have the same luxury as people who are advertising on a very robust advertising platform like Facebook. So you're going to get your analytics now.
Which were amazing. The analytics on Instagram, you can really delve deep into those and use those analytics for a lot of the other work you do in your marketing campaigns.
Oh, absolutely. You can check those analytics on Instagram and apply them to the other platforms.
Exactly. I was pretty impressed with some of those analytics.
And we know that Facebook owns Instagram, so we know that integration of, and we mentioned this in last week's show, that Facebook is actually looking at pulling the advertisers from Instagram and giving them a remarketing opportunity through Facebook. So it's all going to tie together. It's all going to be extremely robust, and they are really in tune to what marketers are looking for. Those analytics, suggestions on how to advertise to enhance your advertising, and then they even have like a designer's tab that even actually helps you build that.
That's great. That's great for those of us with a little less creativity. But on the flip side, for those of us who have to go and justify our marketing dollars to folks, if you're in a boardroom or if you're in a council room, whatever it may be, those analytics are what are going to back you up to tell people, I do need funding for this, and this is where the money's going, and this is how it's being utilized. And you really need those when you're in front of a large group giving a presentation on the funding that's being spent on this social media.
You're asking anybody to spend any kind of money. You need to be prepared to give analytics on that. As a internet marketing, as an agency, that's how we can keep our clients, by saying, oh, okay, we know you're spending this much a month with us. Let's show you that return as far as how your audience has grown, or click-throughs to the website to where they were able to buy something.
So if you do have to give a presentation, isn't that where SlideShare comes into play?
Oh, you saw what's next on my list. I love that.
I cheated.
LinkedIn owns SlideShare. Huge announcement. If you're not familiar with SlideShare, you're able to upload PDFs and PowerPoint slides and add lots of tags and keywords. Fantastic search engine optimization when it comes to SlideShare. It's been one of those platforms where social media marketers and internet marketers are aware of it, but they haven't utilized it as much as they should. And one of those barriers to entry was because of And Bronco's saying, look, I'm using it right now.
Nice.
One of those barriers to entry was all of the cool features of SlideShare, ending your slide with a call to action and a place for them to enter their email and hit send.
Beautiful.
All of those were paid type things.
And so that's all going to be included now, correct?
Oh my gosh, it's going to be free as of September 1, I think.
Oh, that's
the date.
soon? Great.
It's fantastic. It is obviously being rolled out because nobody ever wants to give it, I guess, everything free at once. Maybe they get overloaded. I don't know. I'm going to be first in line to try the premium, now free features come September.
Yes.
So
yes,
that's all I'm going to say about that. If you want to read more about the article, moblogger.com/blog.
Very informative.
We're going to go right into the app updates because we have to make sure we save time for your quiz.
Let's save time.
Only 2 app updates this week. Pinterest just had some simple bug fixes, but what I thought was interesting is they are inviting people to let them know how they can improve through their help.pinterest.com. So I actually included that link on this week's app update, which I thought was great.
Isn't that great? Doesn't that get back to the sense of community with social media? It really creates that sense of community, and you can one-to-one with your customers to get a better all-platform experience.
It shows the confidence that they have in their product, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
there's certain platforms that are like, no, don't talk to us.
Yeah. And I mean, you can't do that with the newspaper. You know, this is a really new way of doing it, and it's immediate feedback is great.
You're so good at this. The second app update is Vine.
Ooh,
so Vines are still alive and well. I know as soon as they came out, there was a huge push, and everybody was on Vine. So
you were running around streaming Vine everywhere.
Well, this really plays into, I feel like we're moving in. 2013 had already started pushing into the year of the video. Mm-hmm. Into 2014, that is just exponentially increased. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Okay.
It's not stopping.
Why do you think that is?
It's because platforms are allowing videos to autoplay by default.
Okay, I have noticed that as well.
It becomes a huge marketing tool.
Right.
And because of the shortness of an application like Vine, 6 seconds, that's typically all you have to catch somebody's attention anyway.
Yep.
So now Vine, in their recent update of their application, has now allowed for all the things, mostly all the things that Vine wasn't capable of doing before. One, you don't have to record directly from the Vine application anymore. You can upload existing video, and even if it's longer than 6 seconds, you can now edit that video down to 6 seconds. I think this is
so
exciting.
Excited about this.
This is so exciting because that I felt like was a huge limitation in the getting your. It's two different ways of looking at it.
Yep.
Huge limitation because you're so limited by what you were capable of doing within the Vine app. Mm-hmm. It did push people to be more creative on how they were going to use that 6 seconds.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I don't think it's going to stunt the creativity by having that much more opportunity to edit the video.
Do you think it'll be a little more organic, a little more natural now that people aren't forced to do whatever they need to do within that 6 seconds? They can take 6 seconds out of a video that they might have taken weeks ago. I caught a fish. Several weeks ago, yes.
I think production.
I
thought Maddie caught that fish.
Well, yeah.
You're taking credit for your daughter's fish?
She's 10. I was trying to get away with it. But I think that it'll get a lot more of an organic feel to it if you're allowed to take snippets from the videos that you already have or that you have created on your own and choose those 6 seconds and upload. I
think the quality will increase.
Yep.
Creativity may diminish slightly because now you can upload a whole production of a video with words.
I think we're still creative in 6 seconds.
It's a limited enough amount of time that you're still challenged to get somebody's attention.
That is true. Yes. Agreed.
So I think it's brilliant.
Yes.
You go Vine, owned by Twitter. Now I'm going to wait to see how they completely monetize Vine.
I know. It's okay. We're excited for now.
One last thing oh no, we have 2 last things to cover. We've been talking too much.
Really? That happens to us a lot.
Just kidding. Let's talk about our question of the week. And that question is, can your business skip social media? Feel free to leave your comments on our blog or via our YouTube channel or through this Google Plus online hangout, and let us know what you think. I think the short answer is sure, your business can skip social media.
I totally disagree.
Well, that's the long and short of it. Are there good reasons for skipping social media? Probably not.
No.
Because, I mean, you got to just think about a few things. So here's where I take issue with it. And it's probably counterproductive to say, seeing as I work for a social media and internet marketing company, but there could possibly be some businesses out there that would not entirely benefit from social media. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing a presentation for a bird conservation entity. They don't take donations, even though they're a nonprofit. All of their funding is through federal government or other grants of the like. Their target market are farmers, people, landowners of this property that have these bird species on it.
Mm-hmm.
So they tend to see something like Facebook as not their target market. Like, the farmer isn't necessarily going to be on their computer waiting to see information about it. They're actively going to these farmers and working with them. So I feel like there's businesses like that, like a cement form company.
Yeah.
Is there a target market on Facebook for a company that's all they do is make cement forms?
Yeah. With government contracts, perhaps, not needing to be out there in the private sector. If they're in the private sector, I think that they might want a larger view of things. However, I work with quite a few businesses here in town, and we do have some businesses that are not really out there in the social media world, some that are not out there at all. A few years ago, we ran an online survey, and the business that won the online survey does not even have a website. So I had that conversation with the business owner that, hey, you know, you might think that you're not needing this, but there's a large percentage of your clientele who are on the internet and who are on social media. And you're missing out on those by not having that website, not having that presence, not having that Facebook page, the tweets. So I think that there's a large misconception that if you haven't used it before, you don't need it. But really, the way things are going forward, it's only going to become more, not less.
It's almost like having a business not having a telephone number for them to reach you.
Really?
That's where it's turned to. I've read many articles lately that say people are looking at your Facebook page before they decide to do business with you.
Yes.
And then if you don't have a Facebook page, they're like, oh, well, which business does?
Mm-hmm.
And that's who I'm going to
Absolutely.
check out their goods first.
Absolutely. So I think that it's a lot more necessary than a lot of folks out there who don't have these platforms might think.
And that's my universal symbol for mobile.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Once again, you can weigh in at mobloggy.com/blog or through our various social media channels. Curious to know what you think, so would love your feedback on that. Into the second to last, because even though we're slightly over on time, we're going to make the quiz happen. Well, I try to keep them. I try to keep them to like 20 minutes, so you know people can.
I thought it was 30. I'm sorry.
Well, no.
Okay.
I say 30 to guess, just
in
case.
She said 30 to me.
In case they're interesting.
I must count.
So, second to last part is our tip of the week. Franz in our office here wrote a fantastic blog, just 5 basic things that you can do to help increase your engagement on Twitter.
Okay.
And I'll just go over one. And one that really works for a lot of our clients, we have some insurance agents, real estate agents, would be to search on local hashtags. And not only are you searching with those local hashtags, but you're also including those local hashtags in anything that you put out in your social media channels that actually support hashtags. For example, we're in Minturn. However, when we are doing certain things on Facebook or on Twitter with the Downtown Minturn account, sometimes we hashtag Vail.
I've noticed
sometimes we hashtag Vail Valley.
Yes, I've noticed that.
One, because we know Vail is the main hub in
absolutely.
this area, so all we're trying to do is saying, yes, hashtag Minturn, so we can see all the cool things happening in Minturn, but include that larger local hashtag so that you're grabbing some people who may not know Minturn even exists.
Because I need those folks that are going to come and visit Vail, that are interested in Vail, that want to know things about Vail, to also know Minturn's 5 minutes away. Hashtag.
Plus, if you're looking for people to engage with, say you are a local restaurant in Vail, look at that Visit Vail hashtag or Vail Valley hashtag or Strictly Vail hashtag. You might find some people who are looking for suggestions on what restaurant they should go to.
Almost always.
Yeah. We have a restaurant client at a Vail, and easy peasy.
Yeah.
And I'm always tickled because we're normally the first restaurant that sees that.
Love it.
So anyway, there's your tip. If you'd like to read the rest of them, mobloggy.com/blog. Blog isn't our name. So there's lots of good information there.
That's so great.
We've reached the new point of our show.
Wow, that goes so fast. All right.
I know you're not a social media person.
I am not. This is why I hired No Blogging.
You're going to have 30 seconds.
No pressure.
So it'll be over with, even if it's painful. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I have 5 questions that are mostly social media related.
Of course.
And for every question you get right, we will donate $10 to your charity. And I've built in at least one easy one, so you at least get $10.
All right, I'm ready.
If you are interested in supporting, say the charity again?
Please support the Education Foundation for Eagle County. It's a great program for all of our kids in the area, and it supports the music program for all, I want to say, K through 5 students of public schools in Eagle County.
Yay! So if she happens to get all of the answers wrong, help a sister out. Please. Go to our blog. We have the link to the Education Foundation on there directly to the donate page.
Beautiful.
And I think you could probably even say, for Michelle, on behalf of Michelle.
She needs help.
All right. So I have
oh, she's got this awful music she's going to play.
Sound effects. Yeah. This is the first one, so we have to sound effects.
Let's do it.
All right. 30 seconds. Okay. All right. Oops. I'm pulling up the questions. I had them pulled up. All right. This is the first time, people.
Okay. Oh, the music.
All right. Okay, good. Okay.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Sure.
I'm absolutely ready.
I don't know if I'm ready, but here we go.
Let's do this.
How many characters in a tweet?
140.
Is Barack Obama a verified account on Twitter?
Yes.
What's another name for the pound sign?
Hashtag.
Can you edit text on a photo on Facebook?
No.
How many letters in the name Michelle? 8. Woo! And you totally had like 5 seconds to spare.
Yes.
Congratulations, Michelle. Thank you. As our first guest that did the social media challenge for charity, you got 4 out of your 5 questions. So we'll be donating $40 to your charity. Mention it one more time.
Education Foundation in Eagle County.
Michelle, thank you so much for joining us today.
So
this was so much fun.
Over.
I feel like it's a total Romeo and Michelle moment.
I know, I'm so excited. The only thing not involved was alcohol. I know, what went wrong there?
One more minute and we'll resolve that.
Okay.
We hope you have an awesome week. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I had a friend say that Mountain Time confuses everybody, so I'll say 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for anybody who's tuning in. Yeah. See you next week. Recap.